back in business. Yo, what's up? This is your boy Postman, and you're tuned in to Post in a Diary Room. Welcome to Post in a Diary Room. And as you may know, every day is a good day to get a delivery from the Postman. And of course, if this is your very first time tuning in, please kindly like, share, subscribe, comment, do whatever is necessary to engage with the content, and most importantly, enjoy the review because today I'm going to be reviewing Lowfeye's latest offering, surprise release on my end. This is a project called Days Before Nosange. And just for context, Days Before Nosange actually is a Scooby snack, just something for us to hold on to just before Lo-Fi, releases his long-awaited debut album. Not even long-awaited actually, because he's quite consistent. He's always dropping, but now he's coming through with a debut album called Nosange, which is expected to release on the 26th of March 2026. It's quite a way. And just to feed the buzz, he then decided to drop this project that I'm about to review, which is called Days Before Nosange. Now, Days Before Nosange also happens to be a star-studded EP. It features the likes of Priddy Ugly, 25K, as well as his long time, or his actually long time collaborator in Lacabra, who he also happens to share a lot of artistic chemistry. We've also seen them drop the Unokhaga series, which is Unokhaga 1 and 2, which dropped earlier in 2023, 2 if I'm not mistaken, 2023 if I'm not mistaken. And then they then dropped Unokhaga 2 in 2025. Now, just before I get into the review, again, Lowfeye has been quite consistent. Like I had mentioned, he also happened to drop a project sometime in 2024. This was a project that was titled Umfana Makulu. If I'm not, was that in 2024? I think 2025 also. I think so. And then he also happened to drop another EP titled Imibuzo. Now, what I actually have figured out about Lowfeye is that he happens to be wearing umqhele throughout almost all of his covers. When you look at the one on Imibuzo, umqhele is there. Also, the cover of Umfana Makulu, and another whole string of his singles have him wearing umqhele. When you look at the cover of Mission Man, he's also, wearing umqhele out there. I'm quite interested in finding out the significance of umqhele in as far as he is concerned. But obviously, that's something that I will ask the day I get to talk to him sometime during the course of whenever. Now, I just want to get into the review itself. Now, the first track on the project is called Msholozi. This is your typical trap-esque, joined by Lowfeye. Like, this is a typical Lowfeye song. This is a typical song that you'd find him doing with the Kwelas. This is a song where he's just rapping about his recent successes, and he just talks about how successful the song that he did with Java titled Typhoon, how it's doing right now. Apparently it's certified double platinum, and yeah, it's quite the achievement, to be quite honest, because it's not many young guys right now who have a platinum selling song or have contributed towards a platinum selling song. It also reminded me of the first song on his other project titled Mvanaga Makulu, because it also has the similar kind of start where it actually goes on with a bang. It starts off, it kicks off with a bang. But on the other hand, the one song that I actually didn't like or even understand is the song Ibeshu. Quite significant, of course, because you also spoke of Umkhele. Ibeshu is hardly complete without Umkhele, right? But outside of the whole traditional Zulu attire, the beat is quite busy for me. This is not a song that I like. This is not a song that I would bump ever again. And this is a song that was quite a skip for me. And this is a song that I just had difficulty just running through. But of course, Lo-Fi does a lot of these things because part of what the Koilers do from time to time, they rap on these very awkward beats or awkward sounding beats, and they do whatever they do there. And I think for them, it's also like a experimental thing that they got going on there. But like I said, no disrespect to the song, it's just not for me. It's not my cup of tea. It's not something I'd bump ever again. The beat, like I said, is quite busy, but he tries his best to like flow different on that song. But I just don't think the same way I don't even like the song Toyota by the Quellas. Then comes the next song, which is Bags on Bags. This is a song where actually made me feel like, yeah, Lo-Fi actually loves money, and this is a feel good song. This is a song that I'd actually play after touching coins, be it after payday, be it after like getting paid for doing a gig, doing something for someone, and you just, you know, this is the type of song you play after rendering a service. For me, the song is quite dynamic, and the falsetto kind of like heightens that dynamism that I talk about, and it allows Lowfeye to kind of like showcase the different types of personalities that he has, and also show how extensive his musicality actually is. Pretty Ugly actually sits quite well on the song. It's just that I do not think that the two guys are narratively on par. I just feel like Pretty raps about whatever he wants to rap about, and Lo-Fi does whatever he's doing there. It's a pretty good song, but I just don't think that they were able to have some middle ground and meet each other halfway in that sense. The best feature throughout the project has to be 25K, because what he did on Pockets was quite wow. And what I actually like about the song Pockets is the fact that the guys kind of do the same sound in a sense. Maybe the one thing that kind of like sets them apart would have to be like the linguistics and the approach and the stylistics, but more than anything they do, but they kind of are like in the same trap bracket, and it's just that they are unique and they stand out distinctively, and they stand out in their own unique ways, just like they do in this particular song. But I do feel like 25K just ran away with the song. He was the man of the match, because I think as he came on, besides the song being a rap relay of some sort, but the minute he came on, he was like, he just ran away with the song, and it just ultimately had the best performance there. The project then kind of draws to an end, and as it draws to an end, like we are now kind of squeezed into Lo-Fi's world, and now this is where things kind of get a bit more introspective, get a bit more deep, and a lot of his deep cuts just lie there at the end with songs such as Over Everything. And I think for me, this is the best song throughout the project, and I think the sample more than anything caught my attention and it drew me towards the song. And the subject matter is quite deep, and when Lo-Fi gets this vulnerable, he gets dangerous, and he just becomes deep cut mabulala, and there's nothing you can do, and he sounds very soulful. I don't know, for some odd reason I actually felt like the song has some acoustic texture to it, in the sense that like this is a type of song where would do great with a band. This is a song that would just do good watching it live, in a live type of setting. But also it kind of makes sense because of the people that he's around right now. His management team is able to drive you to a different direction, and also they are very, very like, there are those guys who are very obsessed with the live performances. I love Lo-Fi's messaging. I love how he sounds like he's writing a letter to God, or he's actually expressing his gratitude to God, and he basically asks God to not forget him. This might be a very controversial take, but I feel like Over Everything might be Lo-Fi's best song. It's actually Lo-Fi's best song in my opinion, and this actually just goes to speak on how he just keeps improving. Lo-Fi's been on track, and he's seasoned right now, and I think this is quite the Scooby snack. It's got some gems. Looking forward to the visuals, and I'm also looking forward to the album more than anything. To be honest, a fair rating of this latest offering by Lowfeye titled Days Before Nosange would get a 6 out of 10 from me. Lowfire's latest offering titled Days Before Nosange gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Post in the diary, please kindly like, share, subscribe, comment, do whatever is necessary to engage with the content, and most importantly, I will see you on the next one. Peace.